are you? I'm reading the chat right now, and you guys are awesome. I love Hydra. Thank you so much. Lunchtime craft break has become a staple of my day now. Aw, that is just... Aw, that fuzzies in the heart. Thank you so much. Coming back from GenCon, holy moly, am I still in like that GenCon hangover. Oh. But yeah, it was... Oh, it was a week. It was amazing, and it was something we're going to be talking about. That's for sure. Hello to everyone in the chat who just jumped in. It is so good to see you. Let me just tweak the musica a little bit because that's bugging me. Volume-wise, not song-wise. So while I was gone, I had my darling patrons vote on a mini that they wanted me to paint for August, and it's minis that I pulled from the WizKids Wave 9 selection. Came home, checked the poll. Turns out we had a tie. Like, we had a solid tie. It was like 10 and 10 votes. It was ridiculous. So it was at the point where I needed to start prepping and planning and getting things figured out. So I opened it up to the general public saying, okay, we need to vote. And vote you guys did. And we ended up with the Cthulhu from WizKids Pathfinder line. It is the Star Spawn of Cthulhu. I know it's out because I took it out. And let me tell you, this miniature, it is nuts. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's gorgeous. It's wonderful. And I can't wait to show you what I've done to it already. I have done a few things to it first because this was going to be stuff that was going to take forever. And I'm like, okay, here's a live stream of my painting it just this. So we're going to adjust slightly. Oh, look at you all jumping in. Hello, Achilles, Scott, Nicholas, Quinian, Dice, Hydra, Eleftheria, Jan, I saw you in there. And who else is in there? Clyde, I believe? Clyde? Why am I forgetting names? Why is I forgetting this? It's Jedi Jim, John S., Crafter's Forge, yep, Clive. Oh, I'm telling you, you guys are awesome. So, yes, we're going Lovecraft today, darling. So we're going dark, very, very dark. But you know me. I'm not doing a classic Cthulhu in terms of like the dark green or whatever. I have actually prepped him already. He is all painted up, and yes, I took off his wings. If you're going to paint this miniature, this is something I'm going to recommend that you do. Pop his wings off. The easiest way to do it is I took a hairdryer to his back, waited for the plastic to get softer, and just gently wiggle. Gently is the key word. Gently wiggle things, not the camera, gently wiggle things back and forth until the wings release and pop out. Reason why I did this is because when you have the wings in, talk about impossible angles. So the wings will pop out with some gentle nudging. And then this is going to make it so much easier to paint everything and put it back together in the long run. So, yeah, I've basically broken Cthulhu. But hey, it's the thing. If something horrible happens to me, it's because I did this. That's pretty much Wiggle the Cthulhu. Oh, you should see what I was doing when I was doing the test run for the video stuff. He and I were like boogieing down with the song. So yeah, that's what I've done. I basically popped everything off just because it's going to be one of those things where when the time comes, I'm actually going to reinforce this with pins as well. Did I put that in the right way? She says. So I'm going to reinforce it with pins and just pop everything back in and glue it together again. But right now, this is going to make it so much easier to paint, but this kind of gives you the general idea of Cthulhu with his wingspan, doing his thing, emerging from the water. The water effects, I have a feeling we're going to be addressing those probably next week, is my guess. I'm going to focus on body right now. It has this really cool design where the clear plastic bleeds into the form. So I'm going to basically work it so the water is going to show the skin underneath in this area, and then we're going to drip it down to make it look more like water effects as we get through here. So that's the plan with his water. In terms of the man or the thing or the ancient old one himself, I have plans. I have, God, you know what I do. I'm the one who painted the rainbow beholder. Keep that in mind, folks. So let's see. I'm going to show you what I have in store for this fellow. A lot of it was because someone said you need to make sure he's colorful. I'm like, you know, I like that idea. So I went through Google Images last night, and I did do. Oh, hello, we have more people joining us. Hello, Scott. Hello, Dan. How are you, Dan Dillon? Love. Yes, love Lovecraft. So here we go with the reference photos. So I was looking at octopi last night. First of all, no, this is not Reaper. This is WizKids Dice Guy. So first of all, the Jazz Hands octopus is the one that actually sealed it for me with the color combination. simply because of the pose. I was like, oh, that's actually kind of really cool. So I'm going to be using more of this reddish orange and then accents of that turquoisey teal blue to kind of give this Cthulhu more of a, I don't know, maybe he's like in the tropics type of thing. That's really my plan with him. So that's going to be my reference for this. So, oh yeah, Jan, I know. It's sometimes you just happen to get minis where you realize it's great they were put together. I get why they did it because of the primer. But in this case, because of all the, I mean, this guy has texture out the wazoo. Look at this. This is all stuff I would be missing had I have kept the wings on. So, you know, gentle, like I said, get heat to them, gently wiggle. The glue will release, and ta-da, you have Mr. Cthulhu ready to go. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Ta-da. How dark is that, says Jedi Jim. I know! God, I'm worried about that. Oh, geez. So we'll see what happens. So what I'm going to do first is I'm actually going to jump over and start getting some red on him, the red base. Why did I go with purple? We'll talk color theory here right now. I wanted to make sure that I had this depth to it. But what I didn't want to do is go to black because black is going to bring it too far down. And I also wanted to keep sort of this tonal, not iridescence, but you want these colors to sort of work through each other. You're okay, Jody. You're always on time. You're always on time. Never feel like you're late. You probably just heard my stomach grumble. So I kept it to the purple tones so that the color wouldn't drop too much. This is going to work well with the reds as I transition up to the reds, the orange reds, and then the oranges for the higher accents. The other thing I thought would be fun to work with this, because going back to those reference photos, not the end screen, you can see the guy with sort of the flared out, almost skirt-like tentacles. There's this awesome modeling texture I want to try and incorporate again. Sort of like what I did with the unicorn before I left for GenCon. I thought that would be fun. So I am going to bring those sponges back out and start applying. But first, what I'm going to do is a dry brush of red on Mr. Cthulhu. And, oh, hello, big brother. Miss Plaid Ambassador. Yes, I am the Plaid Ambassador. And holy moly, do they keep me well in paints. I love it. And that's the other thing. I will be using some of the, what are they called? Color chrome shifts. That's what I want. I'm going to use some of the chrome shifts on the water because I thought that would be really cool. I have done it already with... Ooh, I could show you. Hold on.
One moment, please.
All right, I have to hold her because she's kind of not fully safe for work. But this is a lovely water elemental that I did, and I actually used the chrome shift paint so that you'll get these, it goes to purple and then to the turquoise blue and then back to purple. So I'm going to play around and do that on the clear aspect of the Cthulhu miniature, so that way we have like a more dynamic coloring going on. So that's my plan for the water effects. As for the body, now, oh, I need to put her some, I'll put you there, darling. I'll put you there. So yeah, let's see. I am going to start off with setting the wings aside because the wings I will address as we go along as well. I'm going to start first with Scarlet. Oh, red. Scarlet Red from Vallejo Game Colors. I'm telling you, my brain is still so fried from GenCon. But I will be going back next year. Keep that in mind. I'm going back next year, and I have another convention coming up in a couple weeks. Keystone. I'm actually on a few panels. So yeah, if you're in the Philadelphia area and you want to do some general geekery fun for that weekend, it's August 23rd to the 25th. I will be there. I have a panel each day. So exciting stuff. I'm very much looking forward to it. It's with the Nerdarchy guys and some other people. So yeah, it'll be good things. Hello down under Blunt. Dude, where have you been? Oh, it's good to see you. Thanks for stopping. Don't ever apologize for having to get out of touch. And, you know, life happens. Life comes along and suddenly it's 3 months later and you're wondering how the hell you got here. So, but good to have you back here, bud. Definitely good to have you back. And, oh yeah, the dragonfly paints. Oh, I like those a lot. They are fantastic for spell effects. I will say that. Absolutely, absolutely, great for the spell effects. And hello, Mac Attack. God, you're all jumping in saying hi. Wonderful. Okay, so I'm taking basically a wider flat brush. Obviously, this is one I went to paint him with. It has been cleaned off. It's just that the coloration of the pigment is still kind of dancing in the bristles. I did also, when it comes to painting this, I used I used Hexed Lichen, but I added a drop of black as well as a drop of ghost gray. This makes the purple a little less transparent, because sometimes the purples tend to get a little bit more wishy-washy, so to speak. And it's a good way to sort of trick a paint into giving a better coverage, is to put black and a little bit of a light gray into it. So that's what I did here. TeknoAxe says, make sure to hit that like button, make craft greater still. Yay! Let's talk about that. I am definitely going to be going to D&D in a Castle as DM again for the 2020 run. I'm there for the whole stint this time too. They have plans for me with not only doing one-shots, but also crafting. It's just so cool. I'm stupidly giddy over the fact that I'm going to get to incorporate both elements of my D&D stuff together, the DMing and then also the crafting. So speaking of crafting, let's get over to this Lovecraft fellow. And I'm just going to start getting this red on. And it's going to be a little bit heavier of a dry brush. It's more of an overbrush than just doing a light bring out the highlights and stuff. But this is what's going to get him closer to that reddish tone that I want. And then we're going to switch over to that makeup brush and start doing the whole adding texture thing like I showed you before. Now, keep in mind, when you're painting this, if you get paint on these clear plastic sections where you didn't want it to go, that's okay, because all you need to do is get a hold of some nail polish remover once you're done painting. And you can go through and carefully with a paintbrush sweep the colors you don't want off that clear plastic. That is for sure. So yes, I will be at D&D in a Castle 2020 from the 6th through the, I think it was the 18th is the end date. So if you're thinking about going, make sure you get registered on www.dndinacastle.com is the official website. So there's that. Let's see here. Hello, Corporate Warlock Gaming. I don't know if I said hello to you yet. Aaron Bono, I have not said hello to you. Hello. Yes, I am going to be at Mace. What day would I recommend? Saturday? Yeah, Saturday, because Friday things were sort of like a half-day start. And then Saturday it kicks into full gear with everyone doing stuff. So if you can only go one day, Aaron, I would definitely say join us on Saturday. You'll get a chance to meet all 5 of us, the guild masters. We are plotting, we are planning, we are getting things organized. Hopefully some fun stuff for you guys to enjoy and see. So, yeah, so there's that going on and something to keep in mind if you want to make sure you're getting the right day. And if you live in the Charlotte area and you really want to get to meet a lot of crafters, Mace has definitely become a crafter-friendly convention. Granted, it is a little bit smaller. I think it was a little bit under 1,000 last year, but that was nice because it had more of like this family reunion feeling to it. Not quite sure what the numbers will be this year because all of us are going to be there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with it. Art Kenna, hello. Did you see any cool crafting things at GenCon? I saw... Yes, and I'm going to spin it this way because of my being a Plaid ambassador. Ambassador. Oh my God, I'm jumping into like the Midwestern accent. Since I'm a Plaid ambassador, I get these lovely updates of what other Plaid ambassadors who are in cosplay, what they're doing and what they're creating. And to me, that is also another avenue of crafting for us. And some of these costumes were just ridiculously beautiful. There was one point where I was just sitting on the sidelines of one of the main thoroughfares, and I was just watching people walk by in their costumes, and it was amazing to see what they had created. I also saw some great minis that had been painted for display purposes from various artists in our community, which was wonderful to see. Yeah, it's one of those things where I got to sort of wander and do a few things here and there. But there was also a lot going on where I was meeting with different people and, of course, the networking connections and all that stuff. The loveliness of you have everyone, well, most everyone, that you're in contact with online and doing these back and forth messages. It was basically like meeting all your pen pals in one place. So my whole goal while I was at GenCon was definitely make sure that I meet up with certain people and chat with them because they had expressed that they wanted to make sure we had time together. So that's really what my GenCon turned into. And I'm not going to complain. I did get to run BBs as an impromptu thing. That was so much fun. And then, it's down there. You're writing campaigns again, Primordial Jungle. Ooh! Very cool. You should check out my ship playlist because I have some jungle stuff there that might be handy for you if you want to do some terrain. Smaller conventions are nice, Macatech. I do agree. You get a little bit more of a intimate interaction, the time to chat with one another and not feel so rushed and harried. But GenCon is sort of its own creature. There are various aspects about it that I appreciated. There were other aspects I was like, oh my god. But overall, for the size that it was didn't intimidate me. Quite frankly, it was actually not as bad as I was expecting. So I'm quite happy with my first GenCon experience. I had some lovely friends helping me out, guiding me and getting me to understand where things were and all that loveliness. Oh, and there we are. Yeah, the picture of Sam. That was something I didn't realize was going to be going on the internet. When we went to go see Critical Role live, I actually went with Dan Dillon. So Dan, if you're still in the chat, there you are. So we actually went to go see Critical Role live. We had gotten tickets that allowed us to go to the VIP Q&A. And I got to tell you, I'm hoping that maybe like something gets released about that, but some fantastic questions and interactions from critters with the Critical Role crew. It was wonderful. And it happened before the show itself, and there was like an hour in between. So we were just kind of hanging out and chilling, and then all of a sudden we're being led backstage. This is something I didn't think I was going to be talking about. We got led backstage and escorted into the dressing room where we got to see Matt and everyone else, and they were absolutely lovely and wonderful people. They were in getting ready for the show mode and preparing their costumes and just sort of getting mentally into character. Great to see. Wonderful, wonderful people. The good thing is you met them and they were just genuinely nice and eager to meet you. And, you know, for me, I was like, okay, this makes me happy. This is good to see. Yeah. Spacing out, remember all the glory that was Sam's presence. So, pretty much we had met everyone. Correct me if I'm wrong, Dan. Pretty much we had met everyone, and they were, like I said, getting into costume. And Sam had been in street clothes when we first got in there. And he scooted out to get into his own costume. And then in walks this LED lit, huge, unbelievably... I don't even have words for it. Unbelievably flamboyant yellow costume, which frickin' had wings. So we were all kind of just like, sort of stunned and shocked. And the picture that got taken was Sam, again, showing off the glory of the wings of his costume, which, God, that costume was just too much. And then the way the photo was cropped is you see my head's turned in direction. I have this odd expression on my face. And that odd expression is because I was looking at Matt and we were kind of both just going like, what just happened? So the picture was well timed. It basically caught my my awe and perplexed state. Yeah, it was like a Vegas showgirl possessed by the living spirit of Boosie Collins. It was memorable. It was truly memorable. I consider myself very lucky and blessed to have been able to experience that firsthand. It was a wonderful, lovely, exciting, thrilling, just give me a freaking thesaurus and I'll keep going, time. And, you know, a lot of other stuff cropped up with GenCon that was just, it was great to touch base and have this wonderful feel of community and meeting with people that you talk with all the time. And, you know, yes, there are people I definitely did not get a hold of and I wish I had because I would have loved to. But it was just, I'm looking forward to next year. And I'm also looking forward to future cons like PAX Unplugged. I will be there doing some workshops. Huzzah! So you'll get a chance to take some classes with me. I still have to figure out what exactly I want to do. But there's fun things on the horizons, and I'm excited about it. So that was pretty much my Gen Con. It was really like meeting up with people, enjoying conversations, impromptu, gameplay, or just, chatting away about what we're all up to and being excited for one another, and just lovely, wonderful things like that. Okay, so we're getting the red base on, and I'm loving it. Sam Thulu. God, I should have painted this guy yellow. Too late. Nah, I can't paint him yellow. So I'm gonna keep, like, basically I'm just chattering away and I'm gonna keep going with painting him. This is a massive boy. Him's a big boy. So Hims is definitely gonna take up, my guess is Hims is gonna take up August, quite frankly. So August is Cthulhu month. How's that sound? So anywho, what else happened with GenCon that I thought was pretty nifty? Oh my god, some of the vendors. Walking around the vendor floor and just seeing a lot of stuff. Let's go back to handmade. What some people were crafting by hand, I stood there utterly gobsmacked with some of the creativity that I saw, especially some of the leather workers and surprise, surprise, the corset and dressmakers. Like, there was just, see, this is the angle I don't like. This is tricky. This is where I'm definitely going to go back and remove some things. So I'm trying to get the red under the hand right now, which is caught up in a tight spot because of the miniature sculpt. So, yeah, the God, it was artistry, and even the sketch work and the portrait work, just really wonderful, talented people were there and doing their thing, and it was lovely to see them getting things purchased and taken away, well, not taken away, but carried away with just so happy people. Let's see here. Cincinnati Elevated. Oh, that's a shame. It's a shame you couldn't make it over. Did I have a chance? Well, yeah, I think I'm talking about that right now. Yeah, here we go. So there were also some unique ones. Like, there was this one vendor who makes sense, not sense like makes sense, but makes sense. I don't know why I just sniffed my hand. That would coincide with what you're doing in your campaign. So there were things like a spice market, tavern, fortune teller's wagon, and it was just, we had fun just standing there. That's probably why I got a little loopy afterwards, but we were standing there sniffing all these different fragrances. I did end up buying a couple things. My favorite was the I forgot the full name of it, but it was basically the Harem's fragrance. It was just, it's the smells and scents that I actually gravitate towards in terms of perfumes and whatnot. Oop, just hit the camera. So I got that from them, and then they gave me a mystery scent because I bought a Fortune Teller's Wagon sample pack, and the mystery one is wine. Like, it smells like Merlot. It is crazy. So yeah, it was wandering, it was discovering. I got this fantastic drinking horn for my husband as a little surprise for him, and the kids got Dungeons and Doggies, which they're actually upstairs right now plotting to play out. So I'm excited. Macatek says that could be really disgusting. There was stuff like sewer and what's the other one? Fish market or fish something. So it smelled like fish. It smelled like fish. It was cool. It was pretty amazing. And then there was also just connecting with people who were at their booths, which was wonderful. And I had a great time doing that. Okay, so he's got most of the red where I need the red to be. The tricky part is the under his tentacles. The bog of eternal stench, yay! Oh, I can't wait till that game comes out. I want to be Sarah. Something to keep in mind. Jake, if you're watching, because I know he wants to do it too. Yes, I'm excited for that one. I am totally a Labyrinth groupie on that one. I'm just rinsing my brush a little bit because some of the paint has dried. Ancient Tomb. Oh, that's cool. I think they had that one. Yeah, they had that one. And then something Mummy's Crypt, I think? Mummy something. I grabbed their card. I need to look at the list of things. I wasn't expecting to chat about them, so I would have had that ready had I remembered. Ancient Tomb. Yeah, it was like creepy. All right, so here he is. He's drying. Huzzah. We'll move over to doing the sponging soon, and we're moving up into the half-hour mark. So we'll see how long I run with this. I do need to get a little to a friend's house by 2, so I'm definitely cutting this off at 1:30. Heads up for you guys. Yes, there's a Labyrinth game. It's in the works. It's like one of those things that's kind of been getting vague announced here and there as a post, but there's something in the works, and I'm just like stupidly giddy over it. Let's just say that David Bowie was one of my first crushes. Oh, God. So now I'm going to take the red, and there are these awesome textures here, so I'm going to pull the red against that, not with. I'm not going to pull the brush with, I'm going to pull the brush up in these sections, and then I'm going to lighten my hand on the brush, and I'll pull it across to get the bone ridges that are going on here in the wings. So here we go, first with the up in the fleshy area, which is pretty straightforward and simple. Oh, thank God the AC stopped. I call the furnace my dragon half the time, and I could not turn it up. It was vivid. What was that one scent that just, beef stew. That fragrance was nuts. My friend Avery was sniffing it, and she's like, what? We're looking at her like, what's wrong? And she comes over and she goes, okay, this is one that has to come to you, don't go to it. And we're looking at her like, what? And so she opens, see that Italian hand. So she opens the lid. I did it again. And she didn't even have to hold it near us. You just suddenly got this wafting, strong, potent scent of beef stew. I was floored with that one. That was one of those things you're like, hello. All right, still going here, and we have 2 of these things to get done. I'm going to have some fun with the claws in terms of going back to the reference photo. The claws, no, that's the end screen V. All right, reference photo. I'm going to actually work these claws at the bottom of the wings to be more of that tealish tone, and have a little fun with that for the color. Those smells remind me of the Harry Potter everything jelly beans. You know? Oh, that's a good way to describe it. Yes, Quinian, it was kind of like that. Thank you, Art Canna, for updating it. I appreciate that about the Labyrinth game. Oh, and that was it. There were also some really great 3D printing booths, creating custom minis and everything like that. People really got into it, and it was fun. This one was just tickled pink that she now had a miniature that looked like herself. So it was a great vibe overall. People were just excited to be there and take in the sights, and I need more Scarlet Red. And, some very wonderful, irreplaceable memories were made, and I'm grateful for them, and I'm grateful for the people I got to meet and interact with, and I hope others have a similar experience when they go, if they go, type of situation. But again, it's big. It's a very big convention. And if that's something you're not comfortable with, then, do consider the smaller ones. Especially if you haven't done a convention before. Get your feet wet. Like, honestly, PAX Unplugged, I adore. PAX Unplugged is probably like, number 1, we'll move to GenCon, PAX East, and continue down, I guess. That is my takeaway from GenCon. If you're interested, explore it, see what's what. Just prepare yourself. Read up on articles. Read up on, blogs and what people say about what they did and what they experienced, and take the chance on it. Worst comes to worst, you don't like it, and you can knock them back. Really. But I highly doubt that would be the case, especially if you make it a point to be well-versed and knowledgeable about what you do. There have been some really great streams that were out that gave some great advice. One being on the Scraticus Academy channel is done by Tall Squall. I do recommend you check that one out. It's actually great just for cons in general. Thank you, Jan! My Discord. Oh, geez, I just jumped into Mama Ariana. My lovely little PC. I was working on my campaign last night for Sunday for the last air. I have something fun planned. Something quite fun planned for my players, and should be rather interesting to see how they handle it. I can't wait. When the DM grins, it's too late, right? Ah! But yeah, I was having a little bit too much fun looking through the Tales of the Old Margreave book from Kobold, and hunting and pecking and searching and finding. The squeakiness is one of the kids walking around. Read up on Hey, Initiative Coffee, you snuck in on me. Yeah, definitely how to stay healthy. Right now, my voice is shot because I've been talking so much. But I always do a multivitamin in the morning, and at night I take vitamin C pills a lot to help boost that. And, hand sanitizer, all that loveliness, it really does make a difference. So keep that in mind. Yeah, couldn't that the TPK or a dance party? Well, I've done a dance party. Haven't done a TPK yet. And these guys are on level 1. It's going to be a fun little now I'm going on the vertical parts here. It's going to be a fun little twist. Little twist. There's this encounter, and then there's an NPC that's going to reveal themselves, and let's just say I'm having fun with it. Hee hee. Yeah, GenCon is definitely an investment. I agree there, Mac Attack. Yeah, immunoboosters are your friends, for sure. And if it's something you want to do, be sure you are saving up for it. That way you have your cushion. Con crud is such a joy. Isn't it, though? Ugh. I think for me, what I get more is the sort of the con crash. It's where you get back home and reality sets back in, and you're just like, I got to spend 5 wonderful days with all these people I consider friends, but I only see them through computer screens, and we were face to face, and then you get home and they're not there. And it's sad. So that's another thing to keep in mind in terms of when you do go to these conventions. Just be sure that you prepare yourself for getting there, you prepare yourself for while you're there, and prepare yourself for the aftermath of you're going to miss people, and you're going to want to reach out to people. And you know what? Do it. Do it with your social media accounts. Reach out to those lovely people that you've met. Talk about it. Don't feel like you have to sit there and be maudlin and not express your emotions. Speak up. Let it be known. People reach out, and in a week or so it dissipates, and you start planning for next year and getting excited for the next year, and rinse, repeat type of situation. All right, getting wing number 2, same idea. I am pulling this Scarlet Red up and across the textures in the wing here, and then I'll highlight the bones. Yeah, I mean, I give you credit for working at GenCon, big brother. That is a lot of dedication. But again, I thought it was overall a pretty good experience, pretty great experience, actually. There's some wonderful highlights to it. And there's also some things in the wings. Not these wings, my wings. That we're going to see what happens with them. I'm excited to see some stuff, or some things are sort of floating in the air. We'll see if it comes to anything.
Can't say anything really about it.
But it's exciting stuff. And what else was I going? There's another thing I wanted to hit on today with you guys, and I'm totally blanking on it. Oh, Lord. But I talked about GenCon, talked about taking care of yourselves. Yes, I have a bullet point list in my head. This is all Vallejo Initiative coffee. For now. Asterisks. For now, it's Vallejo paints. I will be jumping into some plaid stuff as well, because they have some great paints that do these different effects that I want to incorporate and start getting a little more life into the paint colors. But that'll probably be next week, quite frankly. So we're going to keep going with this. Actually, I'm one of those people where I would still be using craft paints too, but right now I'm just using the Vallejos because they're right there. That's honestly what drives it. I have this little briefcase thing that sits on the side of my art desk, and it's just like, okay, I'll go for that. But behind the screen, literally, I have hundreds of beautiful craft paints from Plaid that they send me, and I love working with them. So I'm not a paint snob. I like to collect paint and dice, and I'm quite proud of myself.
I didn't buy any more dice.
And I was so sorely... Oh my god. There is a set. It's the Ruby... I want to say it's Zeolite or something like that. That Level Up Dice has. Oh, pause and breathe. They are stunning dice. Like, I was this close to buying them. And I didn't. Hooray, proud of myself. I didn't. I've given myself a milestone where if it happens and they're still available, then I will purchase those dice for myself. But right now I shall love them from afar, because that is That is the way it's going to be. I shall love thee from afar. And, yeah, go me. I resisted temptation. Oh, God. Yeah, dice are life. You would think I'd be the mini addict, considering, but the Hubs is. He loves it when the WizKids stuff comes in. He's like, oh, more minis. He's excited that this guy's getting painted, too. So, he adores his mini collection. I help paint them. Surprise! And I am a dice girl, for sure. Give me my dice. I want my dice. Dice for life. Okay, so I've got that pretty much done. I'm just going to go back over and lightly get the higher parts. And then we're going to let this guy dry. And there will be a wash involved with this. Writing. Okay, so Mech Attack. Ended up working GenCon and Origins. Yeah. Yeah, oh, that's just it. Like, you're talking a mile a minute the whole day. You really are. There's a lot of conversations that happen. There's a lot of like, hey, how are you? Chat. And, you know, part of me is worrying like, am I getting sick? But I woke up this morning, I'm like, bing. No, not sick. Just,
I use this a lot.
And there can't be too many dice. Never, ever. Never too many dice. I love my dice. My dice are my precious. I'm just basically focusing on these raised bony ridges in the wings just to give them a little bit more of the red touch. And then we're going to move on soon to something else. So, yeah, there we go with GenCon. It was wonderful. It was fabulous. Great people, great booths, found out some cool things, met some wonderful, wonderful personalities. So, ta-da! I'm addicted to dungeon decor. Yes. No? There were dice made from meteorites? Don't tell me this. Don't tell me this. Oh, God, it looks like I did something really seriously bad on my hands. Whoopsie. All right, so I'm going to let these wings dry a little bit. Oh, no, I did not see thems. Who made them? Big Brother. I can't imagine them being cheap. I still want to check them out. Oh, Dragon woke up. Not sponsored. Oh, now I have to find that and look. My goodness. All right, we're going to go back to Cthulhu. He and I have gotten into a fight. I'm going to go back in and I'm going to start working in putting on this textured look. Using the makeup sponge trick. So it's the wedge and tearing off nibbly bits at the end because, again, you get a texture developing from that. From just the nipping and pulling off. And I'm going to use this to create a modeled skin look. Which if you look at octopi, they... Why does that always sound... Octopi! I feel like that like an octopus and a pie is kind of where my brain goes with that one. So if you look at octopi in their natural environment and other cephalopods, they have skin that gets modeled and some of them even change damn colors on you. So I wanted to get that by using this technique, which again, you saw me do on the unicorn for those who are here. Not last week. Yes, last week. Monday. Last Monday. Ta-da! So now that I've got Scarlet Red done, I'm going to tuck this over here because I'm going to add that in after the fact and put it in the description. I'm going to move on to Gory Red. And that's going to be my first round of dotting colors around. We're going to keep progressing up until we get to, again, let's look at that reference photo, until we get to those oranges and the brighter tones. Now, I will probably be going back in and working more with it. And then we'll go from there. All right, Mr. Know-It-All, octopides. There you go. Wooden dice. That's pretty cool, too. I haven't seen wooden die. Well, no, have I? I have. I've seen a single wooden die. It was pretty cool. All right, so I'm taking the Gory Red. I always say bloody. The Gory Red. Ouch. Spin the plate. I have to keep the plates off screen because it tends to flare back up. And let me get this guy in water. Just sort of rinse that out. So I'm going to go in with my sponge. Remember, I keep it pinched. And I'm going to dab this in. And get a little bit of this color on the sponge itself. You can see I'm feathering it out on the sponge. And now I'm going to go in to Cthulhu and start sponging him. Now the red difference isn't stark, isn't drastic, which I wanted. This is more of a muted, gradual blend into each other. If you look at what their skins are, octopus. Is there an octopus monster, or are you just playing with me? Because my brain just went ooh. So I'm just gently dabbing the gory red around, and this actually helps hit the higher points. Right now it's difficult to see what it's doing because, again, you have the wet paint that likes to flash back up. And there you go. There's actually a lot of Kickstarter. There's so many Kickstarters going on, quite frankly, I am losing track of it all. So yeah, there's that. I think there is still a little bit of time on the tarot deck that I featured from Comickins. That was great. I love that Cthulhu has a 6-pack, by the by. With butter. Octopi are good with butter. There isn't one, but I bet someone could design it. An octopus? It is an octopus. So, okay, how would this look? We're gonna do an octopus. This is where we go with these chats, people. So for making an octopus, is it that it has a set of 8 horns? Or is it like more like it has the moose horns and it's an octopus, but let's say like the ends of the tentacles have hooves? It's scary that my brain is actually trying to figure this one out. You may have just lost me to that concept. Octopus. Cthulhu is totally swole. Cthulhu work out, dude. I mean, look, he's gotta be lifting at least 300. 8 legs. Oh my god. Now I just see it moving awkwardly around to the point it'd be kind of comical. Let me keep going with this gory red as I chitter chatter about the octopus. Holy moly. I'm starting to imagine that. That's just hysterical. So I'm basically just going back and forth over the areas and applying as I go. This is helping me blend into things a little bit more. And again, if I get a paint on here, I have a means to remove. So we're good. And yes, next week. No, this week. See, I'm stuck. This week we have Dawnbringers are back on Thursday evening over on Mini Terrain Domain, where Cantriel is paired up with the lovely Captain Dervish. Ha! I'm loving this. Oh god, I'm like the whoop 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 for the octopus, or the octopus, having the 8 legs just like sprawling all over the place as they're walking. Yeah, that's kind of where my brain went to Initiative Coffee. But yes, I'm excited for tomorrow and jumping back into Cantriel. And our ship went somewhere. Don't know where, but we're doing Ghost of Saltmarsh. So far, so good. It's fun playing with these people. They're just like, it's like a family reunion every week. It's fantastic. All right, so he's getting the coverage I want with the gory red now, which, because it's wet, it looks so hit. Like, oh. Poor Cthulhu. He's gotten a little bloodied up. I'm going to do the same thing to the wings, though, with the same sponge. Yeah, right. Oh, yeah. Let me drop my son off to someone's house like, hi, how are you? Everything's fine. I was just, working today. $200? Nope. Wow. Let's not talk about that, because I was highly debating buying a hat. That was almost $200, but it was a Harry Potter style thing. I was just like, ah. Oh, God. I'm telling you, those vendors, they tempted me. Hardcore tempted me. Like, there were some purchases I'm debating. I'm like, can I swing this? And da-da-da-da-da. So, yeah. We won't be doing the $200 dice. Not at all. Going back in with the gory red on one wing. And this is giving me a little bit more coverage of the red, but it's that light layering up, which I want to get. This is also nice and fast work, which I like. Because Cthulhu big. Found a full set for the look of 1,500? Are you kidding me? Achille, no, I don't have a favorite brand of brushes. I use whatever Plaid sends along to me or whatever people give me. And I work them to death and I throw them out or move them down to terrain grade. Oh Oh, interesting. So Gil, I can't say the phrase on my channel or I get flagged. Dang it. Making dice out of meteorite metal cost is all I can imagine. I can absolutely imagine that. Oh, jeez. Don't get me wrong, the concept is cool, but I do get that these things are going to be expensive. Plus, I mean, the material itself isn't exactly as available as other things. Hello. But yeah, I was a good girl. I didn't buy things that I sorely wanted to buy for myself that were just super cool. So, yay V, unrestrained. Oh God. No, they were just some gorgeous things. I still want that hat, damn it. I'm not salty about that at all. Problem is I was in Cantriel mentality and I talked about the hat and now I'm pouting. Oh, God. All right, here we go. Keep going with this gory... Talk about gory red. My God. Oh, this is another development that I have been highly considering. And it's actually something because more and more people are asking me. I am going to be working on setting up a system to do commissioned miniatures and terrain because I'm getting people asking if I will do X, Y, or Z for them. And it's going to be something that's based off of a consultation with a fee. It's one of those things where the consultation fee will roll into the cost of your mini getting painted. If it turns out you'd rather not do it, the fee is basically covering my time speaking with you and working out what it is that you're working for. But it's definitely in the early works and early consideration, but I did want to give people a heads up that probably in the fall I'll start getting a commission system going. It'll be open, and then after a certain amount it will be closed. So just something to keep in mind. Patrons will get priority, of course. Patrons from Patreon and my PayPal Direct patrons, they will get priority if they ever want me to paint something for them. But yeah, I've been... this has been an idea I've been stewing on for a while. I've started getting a lot of emails where people are like, hey, could you do this for me? And of course they're asking me like right before the castle and GenCon, so the answer is no. Sad to say. But it's, it appears there is a desire for this, so I am going to get something set up and see if I can accommodate those who are seeking this out. So that's another little bit of news you now know. Ta-da! Rosemary and company ever use. Wait, oh, brushes. Brushes. Okay. Now I know where we are. Okay, that's the front. I need to get a little... Look at that. Oh my God.
Ugh.
Oh God, it looks like I've done something horrible over here. Oh, did I get paint on my... No, I didn't get paint on my chin. Or, not chin. Cheek. All right, I need a little bit more for the inside. There to go. Gory red. Here we go. Just a little bit more. Not too crazy much, but enough to get the job done. I mean, my most recent brushes. The most recent ones that I've been working with brush-wise, it's the... This is what the kids got me for Mother's Day, and you've seen me use these. They have that lovely... Well, dang it. They had that chisel tip at the bottom. But it's the Royal... This is awkward. Royal and Lang Nickel is the name of the company, and they're from Walmart. They actually lasted the longest out of most of the brushes that I've used. Surprise! Que sorpresa. Made in England. Why is that hiding you? Hello, Jake! How are you, darling? See you tomorrow! I was just talking about Dawnbringers and Cantriel. And her new friend, the captain. Hee. Yeah, I know. God, it's getting worse. Honestly, I look to see what the consistency is, and I go from there. This, because I am doing this sponge technique, I don't thin it out because it gets blotted down and the sponge kind of acts as its own thing. It actually helps if it's a little bit thicker because these work well with the consistency of a thicker foundation. But when I do other techniques with painting, yes, I will thin my paints out accordingly, and I'll make sure I thin them out, make sure you're using distilled water, because sometimes the mineral content in your tap water can affect the paints and how they dry and even how they adhere. I'm doing beautifully, Jake. Thank you for asking. I miss you guys. Scott, have I ever done a what? That's a very open-ended question. Have I ever done a... Okay, now this wing is done. So let that dry. This one's You can see as it's drying, it gets more of that red tone that I'm looking for. And then when the wash goes on, it's going to filter in because I'm going to do a black wash. Or do I do the... Yeah, I might take that back. I might actually do the Crimson Carroburg. Jake is growing back his beard. Yay! The mightiest beard. I don't know. I saw some pretty impressive beards at GenCon, guys. You might have a run for your money. No, but I'm serious. Like, there was this one guy, he had, God, this looks awful. This is too funny. I'm cracking up over my hands. Oh, don't do that, Vanessa. Don't. So, yeah, I just said my name. So basically, the camera is getting hit again. So basically, there was this guy who had this massive beard, like down to here, probably so like 12 inches long. Had all these braids, and he had dice threaded onto it. It was so cool. But anyways, the point of that was there were some pretty cool beards floating around at GenCon. Have I ever done a brushes and tips tricks? See, no, I haven't, Scott, because if anything, it's in my live streams that you'll see my tips and tricks for brushes and stuff. Because again, I run the gamut. The gambit of is this the one? No, this is not the one I jumped too fast. Hold on. Yeah, I jumped too fast. So I'm gonna move over to Bloody Red now. Turn the page.
But can it be Halloween?
Call of Cthulhu. There we go. Here's the thumbnail. That would be freaking funny. I know it's not Halloween yet, but can it be? I love Halloween. I love getting dressed up. I love being someone else entirely. It's always so much fun. Last year I got to be a fun character too. Quite frankly, that's why I like going to the conventions, because one day I did like a soft cosplay and dressed up as one of my... I already have red highlights in my hair. I just got it done. See? Woohoo! If anything, I'm matching my hair now. I'm a little bit loopy after a con, aren't I? So... What was I talking about? I forget. So this, oh yeah, the paint that I just put on is Bloody Red. And now I'm going to blot that on here. And again, get the higher areas, like the tentacles and such. And once again, our lovely camera isn't playing so well because of the glare of the wet paint. So this is something that becomes more evident as he dries. But yeah, this is giving me the depth and coloration that I really wanted to have going for him. It looks like I skinned Cthulhu. Yeah, I know. I'm supposed to paint the model, but it's sort of like a working hazard. It's a working hazard. Paint the mini, paint my hands. You know I paint my wrists too to check consistency and stuff. All that fun stuff. Is that a makeup sponge? Yes. Yes, it is. I love using these things. I will use them for sponging terrain. I will use it for sponging miniatures. And they're cheap! Which, you know, I don't have... Well, actually, you know, I do like expensive things, but I'm okay with cheaper stuff too. She says with a sly grin. Ooh, yes, I'm loving this. I'm quite happy with this. He's looking happy. Well, for me, it's looking happy. Okay, I do need to smoosh this a little bit. So I'm going to twist this a little bit more. And then I'm going to angle into the shoulders a little bit more to help me out there. Huzzah. Without smooshing everything out of whack. And the nice thing is because I've been laying up the colors, you get a natural gradient of the color working up where there's more, this area is more covered, so it's got more of a shadowed look to it, which is awesome and what I want. Oh, damn, man, you're looking creepy. He's also looking like severely flayed. I flayed Cthulhu. What'd you do today? I flayed a Cthulhu. You did what? Don't ask. Oh, make it a flake. Yep, there we go. Hey, Quinian, you and I had the same line of thought. All right, put him over there to dry. Let's move over to the same thing to the wings with the bloody red. And we'll keep going. Skin Cthulhu. Great brand name. Actually, yeah, the flayed Cthulhu has a... What would it sell? Or what would that, you think, metal band? Metal band. Flayed Cthulhu. Could you imagine a game that would revolve around that? Forget research. Butcher the dude. I have played a one-shot of Cthulhu, and oh my gosh, it was most excellent. Alice had us basically holding on to what we called the scarf of safety. Literally all of our PCs were linked together by this long scarf, holding on to it so we wouldn't lose each other. It was flipping adorable and ridiculous, and God. That was one of those games where you've laughed so hard that your stomach muscles actually hurt. All right, that one's done as well, and it needs to dry. Make great old ones again. Cthulhu rhymes. Oh God, you guys are funny. Oh, chat. Oh, my lovely chat. God, I adore Wednesdays with you. It's always fun. And ridiculous. Breakfast. A mascot. Oh, God. We're terrible. You're terrible, Mariel. Ha ta da. Now, because this is going on faster, because with the layering of the colors, you do need to be careful at this point that you're not overpainting. Because what can happen is, even though you think an area might be dry, when you go back in with a sponge and you hit it, you may actually... This is so bad. You may actually pull up the paint that you've just applied and spent all that time on. So I really suggest when it gets to this point with getting paint on the Cthulhu, make sure that when you touch the miniature, you don't feel any light tackiness. Do you wait for the paint to dry before going? I'm kind of explaining it right now, Dice Pencil. At this point, because I have the colors layered and there was slight dry times and they were at the consistency I needed for blending, that's great. But now I'm at the point where right now everything absolutely needs to stop hitting the camera. Absolutely needs to dry. Yeah, I can tell right now by touching him, if I were to take another layer of paint around him, I'm going to start pulling off the pink color. I really don't want to do that. So we're going to leave Flayed Cthulhu, because why not? We're going to leave Flayed Cthulhu as is right now. I'm going to make sure he dries completely. So what we're going to be looking at next week, I'm going to be working on adding the highlights, adding more of the details, adding the accents. Again, let's go to that reference photo. Da-da-da-dum. There we go. All right, so looking here at the reference photo, I want to go back in. I'm going to start adding in the brighter oranges and the yellows, those teal accents in different spots, taking care of the eyes and getting them all highlighted up so they look more like the octopi. I'm going to say octopi, forget it, in this sculpt and what you see in real life. So that's the plan for next week. I honestly, Cthulhu may be, now I'm thinking, Cthulhu might be a 3-episoder. We'll see. So we'll have to see what happens with that. And yeah, so that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't tell a soul. It's between us. I need to go wash my hands. So thank you for joining me today. I have so much fun with you always. Jan is being an absolute dear moderator, and he's put the Discord link into the chat if you want to come over and join us. Love to have you there. There are people sharing some wonderful things. I was looking while I was at GenCon. I just didn't... I just didn't have the chance to really give a solid look, just because, you know, I was everywhere and Wi-Fi got wonky sometimes. So there was that. And join me tomorrow night for the Dawnbringers on Many Terrain Domains, starting at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time. And then Friday, I will be doing a game over on Nerdarchy at 8 p.m. Eastern Daylight Savings Time, and I'll be breaking out my Rogue Druid Zelia. She is fun and she is sassy, and she doesn't like to deal with the boo. So that is that's the plan. We'll keep working on Cthulhu. who's looking rather flayed right now, but that's going to change once we get not the darker, but the oranges and the yellows in. Have a wonderful week, everyone. I hope I see you in the chats of the various games, and if all else fails, I will see you next week, same time, same place, different date, same mini. So, bye everyone. Have a lovely, lovely day. Take care.